Governmental Relations Committee. This is Wednesday, August 18th. Mr. Clerk, if you can hear me, can you please call the roll?
Certainly. Councilmember Nuri Martinez.
Present.
Councilmember Joe Buscaino. Councilmember Mark Riley Thomas.
Here.
You have 2 members present, Madam Chair. You have a quorum.
All right, thank you. Let's go ahead and move into public comment. So why don't you kick that off, Mr. City Clerk?
Yeah. Members of the public who would like to offer public comment on the items listed on the agenda should call 1-669-254-5252. Again, the number is 1-669-254-5252. And use meeting ID number 160-593-4341. Again, the meeting ID number is 160-593-4341. And then press pound. Press pound again when prompted for participant ID. Once admitted into the meeting, press star 9 to request to speak.
And for members of the public calling in to speak, this is a regular meeting, so you have up to 2 minutes for all of the items, followed by, if you wish, 1 minute for general public comment within the subject matter jurisdiction of this committee. Please begin with the items. We'll tell you when your time's up. Please be on topic. If you're not on topic, you'll get a brief warning from me or the chairwoman, at which point if you don't get immediately back on topic or again stray off topic, you will forfeit the rest of your time and we'll move on to the next speaker. For members of the public who are calling in, I remind you, if you're listening on another device, channel 35, computer, as soon as it's your turn to speak, please turn down the volume on those other devices. There's a brief time delay and feedback, and it's going to cause a lot of confusion if you listen on the other devices. Finally, also, I should have said that if for those of you who haven't dialed into our council or committee meetings recently, Zoom will now prompt people when it's your turn to speak. A Zoom voice will come on and prompt you to press star 6 to unmute yourself. If you don't do that right away, you'll get one brief second prompting by council staff. At that point, if you don't press star 6, we'll move on to the next speaker and you'll forfeit the rest of your speaking time. And with that, Madam President, we are ready to begin public comment for the committee.
Okay, let's go ahead and take the first. Oh, let the record reflect that Mr. Buscaino has joined our committee meeting.
Correct.
Go ahead and take the first speaker.
Hello?
Hi, which items would you like to speak on?
Oh, yes. I want to speak general public comment.
Sure, so you have a minute. Please begin.
Okay, thank you. I'm Patty Glick of the Lisa Moms Alliance. Number 210873 was referred to the Rules Committee just 2 weeks ago, but the last time a resolution about Aliso Canyon was introduced, it sat in the Rules Committee for 17 months, and that's unacceptable. Now we have a resolution about sending a letter to the CPC opposing any increase of capacity at this unsafe facility. The Board of Supervisors already sent their letter, but we need the city to send one because 1.5 Angelinos will have additional risk if there's more capacity at Aliso. So please get this motion before the City Council as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker. And just a reminder for the people on Zoom requesting to speak, if you want to speak, make sure you press star 9 to raise your virtual hand. So we can move on to the next person.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can. Which items would you like to speak on?
Just general comment, Daniel Gus.
Sorry, which items did you say?
Just general.
Oh,
Just
okay,
general.
sure. Please go ahead.
Yep. Council members, I believe you all need to recuse yourself from this committee and get it reassigned. You have all either declared that you're running for mayor, or in Nuri's case, she has publicly made statements about running for mayor. I don't see how you can serve on the elections committee when you're running for the highest office in the city. You should all recuse yourself and reassign. In the same way that Mr. Koretz, by renaming the pause committee and adding the word audit just before he decides to run for controller, That's him misusing the pause committee for his own professional, personal gain, like Jeff Ebenstein was doing when he was running for CD5. So how about not allowing council members, including yourself and Mr. Koretz, from misusing the committees to advance your personal political aspirations? You should do it on the honor system, but since when was that a factor? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gus. Next speaker.
Hi. Hi, can you all hear me?
Yeah, which items would you like to speak on?
I'd like to speak on item number 3, the CalCare resolution.
Sure, go ahead, you have a minute.
Okay, thank you very much. So listen, you know, I'm turning 26 next month. I'm going off my parents' health insurance, which I've had for, you know, the entire time that she's had it. And, you know, I do have a job, but I'm going on, by all likelihood, a less favorable plan. And this is far from the worst thing that can happen under our for-profit healthcare system. People go into medical bankruptcy in California all the time. What we need is to get profiteering out of healthcare. We need CalCare. We need AB 1400. We need to tell Sacramento how much we support having healthcare as a human right, because, you know, Democratic politicians from the federal to the local level say that all the time, that healthcare is a human right, but in practice, it isn't. And if we can make that a reality in California, council members, then I think that can send a message to the rest of the country that we should finally treat healthcare as what it should be, not what it is. And that is a human right for every single person. So I absolutely support the resolution. And I
Thank
think
you,
we should.
Speaker.
Hello.
Hi, which items would you like to speak on?
I'm going to be speaking on number 3 for the CalCare AB 1400 resolution, Council File 21-0002-S as in Sam 83. I am a supporter of this resolution. I believe that the LA City Council needs to take this resolution up to basically provide guaranteed health care for all Angelenos. The COVID-19 pandemic and resulting economic crisis revealed the inherent failures and inequities of our current healthcare system. People of color and underserved communities have been disproportionately paid with their lives, and the social and economic destruction caused by the pandemic was only made worse under an employee-based system not designed to deliver health care to everyone. We need guaranteed health care, and that's what AB 1400 will provide, and your resolution will go far in influencing our state legislators to actually pass and implement this healthcare system. So no one should go without healthcare coverage because they lost their jobs due to a pandemic and any other crisis. No one should go bankrupt because they cannot afford healthcare bills. No one should be denied care for the lack of affordability. There is a solution, and we can, and it can save all Californians money and save them lives. A healthcare system.
Thank you, Speaker. Hi, Speaker, are you there? No.
Hello?
Hi. Which
Hello?
item? Yeah, which items would you like to speak on?
The same, the third about CalCare, please.
Sure. Please go ahead. You have a minute.
Thank you. My name is Sarah Roos. I live near downtown Mar Vista, and I'm a constituent of one of the CalCare resolution's authors, CD 11 to my comment. I'm former secretary of Mar Vista's Community Council and elected member of LA County's Democratic Party from AB 54. I was Ryan's district and a contributing writer to LA's Education Examiner and City Watch LA. I have nearly as many unhoused neighbors in Mar Vista as housed ones. This is a humanitarian crisis. It's just out of control. And sure, while Housing First is best for intervening in an entwined cycle of poverty, mental illness, substance abuse, and alienation, in the meantime, there's simply no excuse
for not intervening with healthcare for all. We must and we can provide for healthcare as the inalienable human right we all know it to be. I urge you to support Healthcare Council File 21-2S83 because we can afford universal healthcare for all, and because the City of LA supports Assembly Bill 1400. As our representative, I implore that you convey this imperative from your fellow citizens of LA.
Thank you,
need
Speaker.
and we know.
Thank you.
Hello.
This is Hi, which items would you like to speak on?
Hi, I'd also like to speak on item number 3.
Sure, please begin. You have a minute.
Well, first, I just want to thank the committee for considering the resolution in support of CalCare AB 1400. I am an LA resident, and I just want to ask the committee to approve and agendize the motion so it can be voted on by the City Council in September. The City Council's own chief legislative analyst also recommended that the City Council approve this resolution, and that's in addition to 14 neighborhood councils who have also approved community impact statements supporting the motion. So there's widespread will behind AB 1400. And in addition to our broken healthcare system, COVID itself has clearly shown us that the people of Los Angeles, particularly BIPOC and low-income Angelinos, we can't wait on a federal healthcare for all program. We need AB 1400 for Californians. Financial studies show that the city government and LA residents will save billions with a B in healthcare costs by adopting CalCare. We are the largest city in the state, so Los Angeles should really lead on this life-saving issue. So I urge you to please, please, please support the CalCare motion and send it to a floor vote of the City Council in early September. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Speaker.
Hello.
Hi, which items would you like to speak on?
Just item 2, please.
Okay, you have a minute. Please begin.
Thank you. My name is Dylan Hosier. I am the CEO of ICANN, the Israeli American Civic Action Network. I want to thank the committee for considering item 2 today. As you may know, California is home to the largest Israeli immigrant population outside of Israel, and many of them make their home here in Los Angeles. We want to thank council members Blumenfield and Rahman for bringing this resolution forward, and we ask the committee to report it favorably to the full council for consideration. LAUSD passed a very important set of policies to combat anti-Semitism in our school campuses, and we ask the council to support that new policy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Speaker.
Hello.
Hi, which items would you like to speak on?
Section 3, AB 1400 CalCare.
Please go ahead. Do you have a
Okay,
minute?
Yes, I've got a minute. My name is Paul Newman. In November of 2019, I stood before the City Council before, and they voted for the resolution of single-payer health care. I warned of a pandemic coming, and sure enough, or not a pandemic, but an epidemic back then. And sure enough, it happened. In the meantime, I feel that AB 14 is the answer to ending bankruptcies, medical system-filled waste and fraud, a barrier to pandemics, people dying before claims are granted, private insurance decide to cancel your claim, saving billions of dollars, which can be rerouted to the 5th largest economy in the state of California, let alone the world, deals with homelessness, mental illness, puts household money towards food and rent, takes medical benefits out of the cost of business, and allows people to see their personal doctor. Please, I hope that you vote yes in favor of this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
I can. Which items would you like to speak on?
Speaking on item number 9.
Sure. Please go ahead. You have a minute.
All right. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. My name is Gerard Wright, Los Angeles, really strong native Angelino in support of SB 15. We need creative solutions to fix our housing crisis. This is a bill that will help in that endeavor. I think SB 15 we lost a lot of movement in terms of building affordable housing and workforce housing when we lost the community redevelopment agencies. SB 15 is a way of bringing that back. So I urge that the council and this committee supports it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Speaker.
Hello,
Hi, which items would you like to speak on?
agenda item number 3.
Sure, you have 1 minute. Please begin.
Thank you, Rules Committee, for considering the resolution in support of the CalCare AB 1400 bill that we're grateful Council members Bonin and Rahman have brought forward. I'd like to urge the committee to approve the motion and agendize it to be voted on by the full City Council by early September. The city's chief legislative analyst has recommended that the City Council approve the resolution affirming guaranteed health care for all California residents, and 14 neighborhood councils in Los Angeles have approved community impact statements supporting the motion, including neighborhood councils from parts of the city that have been worst hit by COVID. And the pandemic has shown that BIPOC and low-income Angelenos can't wait on health care for all, as well. And in the meantime, financial studies show that the city government and residents of Los Angeles could save billions in healthcare costs by adopting single-payer healthcare. And as the largest city in the state, Los Angeles should lead on this life-saving issue. So please approve the healthcare motion and send it to a floor vote of the City Council by early September. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker. Hey, Speaker?
Hello?
Yeah, hi.
Yes, hello.
Which items would you like to speak
I'd like
on?
to speak on item number 3, please, CalCare AB 1400.
Sure, please go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. Greetings, City Council members. I'm Maureen Cruz, Co-Director of Healthcare for All LA with Erica Faristed. We work citywide with a team of dedicated LA leadership and activists from partner organizations for single-payer healthcare justice in California. We are grateful to Mike Bonin and Nithya Raman for advancing this motion on behalf of the health and the well-being of the residents of Los Angeles and beyond. CalCare AB 1400 is morally correct, administratively rational, and fiscally responsible. The current system is none of these. It thrives on increased human suffering, economic exploitation, resource extraction, and Byzantine complexity, all which serve to maintain an inequitable, racialized caste system of healthcare haves and have-nots. The current system is economically unsustainable and only accelerates unmet public need. LA City Council has the power to be the catalyst for necessary and powerful reform. Please support your constituents and good governance. Please approve this motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker.
Good afternoon. I'd like to speak on item number 9.
Sure, please go ahead. You have a minute.
Chair, thank you so much. Chair Martinez and members, my name is Deandra Valencia, Chief Advocacy Officer for the Los Angeles County Business Federation, mainly known as BizFed. We are in full support of SB 15 by Senator Anthony Fortantino related to the housing development and wishes to thank Council Members Luciano and Correct for bringing this very important resolution forward. Sponsored by BizFed, SB 15 is an innovative and creative solution that provides local governments with the incentives they so desperately need to allow for building of more housing in California. There's no secret that the Los Angeles region has been facing a substantial housing shortage as a result of several decades of limiting where and how much housing can be built in cities across the state. SB 15 gives cities like Los Angeles the ability to convert idle commercial sites to housing. SB 15 is also a pragmatic approach that will enable home ownership to public and private sector professionals, essential for building a stronger and vibrant economy. For these reasons and much more, we urge you to support SB 15 that will address our housing crisis in a real way. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker.
Hello.
Hi, which items would you like to speak on?
Number 3, please.
Please go ahead. You have a minute.
Hi, my name is Celine Betancourt, and I'm a Los Angeles resident in CD1. I'm urging the committee to approve the motion and agendize it to be voted on by the full City Council by early September.
Our healthcare system is broken, and this is a health equity issue. AB 1400 will bridge these gaps, and we cannot allow the system to exist anymore. I know people in my own district who have delayed care because of cost, or folks who can't even use their insurance because the cost to pay just upfront in cash is much cheaper than to go through your insurance. This is unacceptable in California, unacceptable in Los Angeles, so please approve this motion for health equity for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker.
Hello?
Hi, which items would you like to speak on?
I'd like to speak on item number 3.
Please,
the
please go ahead.
motion regarding AB 1400.
Yes, please go ahead.
My name's Dylan. I'm calling in today to, because I believe that Los Angeles as a city should be leading on life-saving issues, especially considering that we're supposed to be this mecca for equity. And on top of that, I'd like to thank you guys for considering the resolution, and would like to urge you guys to approve the CalCare motion and send it to a full vote of the City Council by early September. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker.
Members, that concludes public comment for today's committee meeting. Do any of the members wish to call any item special for discussion purposes?
Item 13, Madam President.
Okay, 13 for Mr. Willie Thomas. Mr. Buscaino, do you have an item you'd like to discuss?
Madam Chair, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just having technical difficulties. Let's see here. The item I'd like to call special is going to be item 11, please.
Okay, item 11 for Mr. Buscaino. We're going to go ahead and take items 1 through 10 and item 12 on consent. Without objection, that will be the order. Let's move on to item number 11, Mr. Buscaino. I also believe you're going to need staff in case you have any questions. I just want to make sure they're on. Ms. Tejeda, can you hear us?
Hello, Madam President. I can hear you. I am here.
Great. And then I also need Mr. Rafael Prieto. Is he on? There you are, Rafael. How are you? These are both staff members from the CLA's office, Mr. Buscaino, so you can go ahead and.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. Thank you and for your presence. I introduced this reso in support of AB 525 members because my full support future plans for offshore energy in California, which will be the greatest economic boost for our state since the emergence of Silicon Valley. We need to note that trillions of dollars will be invested in offshore and onshore wind infrastructure. Thousands of jobs will be created in wind hardware manufacturing. And assembly, renewable energy, and maritime sector, which is needed to build, operate, and maintain offshore wind farms. California ports, maritime businesses, and the workers that support these industries will benefit greatly. We all know that the benefits of renewable energy, not just today, but for years to come, is our future generations. But it's also worth noting that we need to expand our renewable energy portfolio for practical reasons. For example, the Diablo Canyon nuclear generating facility in the Central Coast is closing in 3 years. It provides a whopping 10% of the state's electrical generation. Additionally, there's a little downside to offshore wind. Wind farms are many miles offshore, and even on clear days will be a speck on the horizon. This is a small price to pay for energy to help us keep healthy. Note that the East Coast and really the rest of the world are ahead of California in planning for the developing offshore wind, but we can and will catch up quickly with visionary leadership in Sacramento, like Assemblymember David Chu, and local governments providing the needed political infrastructure, the policies needed to foster and accelerate this clean energy alternative. Note that the infrastructure bill with President Biden and what they're proposing to Congress will add to the funding of this type of energy coming to our coast. So it's essential that we move forward as soon as possible to expand wind, solar, and other renewable energy opportunities, and ask for your support. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Buscaino. If there are no other questions for our staff, I'd like to go ahead and approve this item without objection. Okay, that will be the order. Let's move on to item 13, called special by Mr. Willie Thomas.
Madam Chair, there's a small technical correction for item 13. It should read state legislative program instead of state and federal legislative programs.
Okay, that's noted. Mr. Willie Thomas, we have a staff member from the CLA's office. Tristan, are you there? Nowak, Mr. Nowak?
Good afternoon, Tristan Nowak, CLA.
There you are. So just, Mr. Willie Thomas, go ahead, item 13.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As a former educator trained as such and as a parent, as are you, Madam Chair, I think we know firsthand the importance of investing in high-quality education. I say high-quality schools require a strategic and intentional investment in a representative teaching workforce. I have come to appreciate that that's essential. All the data corroborates that, and therefore, when we look at data in and around our region, it doesn't reflect equity commitments. Black and Latinx students represent more than 75% of the student population in LAUSD, for an example, while less than half of the teachers are persons of color. And I just want to hasten to make the point that these disparities cut across gender lines as well, with Black and Latinx men representing only 2% of the teaching workforce, as is indicated to us. The bottom line, quite simply, is that representation matters, equity matters. It matters across every academic, psychological, emotional indicator of student well-being that affects our city's most vulnerable, and I might even add, precious students. And so Assemblyman Mike Gibson, through Assembly Bill 520, helps to bridge the equity gap and diversify our teaching workforce. I think that's fundamentally important. I take the position that parents are students' first teachers and stay with them for the balance of their years on earth, for that matter. But I think it's important to do more in terms of supporting teachers and supporting the values that speak to our greatest asset, that is diversity coupled with equity. So I respectfully ask for your aye vote of this bill. It will make a difference if we can, in fact, implement it. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Willie Thomas. So without objection, let's go ahead and move to approve item 13 as well. Anything else pending, Mr. City Clerk?
The desk is clear, Madam Chair.
Okay. Is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
What's that?